What is happening? Happy Thursday. Happy Thirsty Thursday. Cheers to you. Thanks for coming out. And let me know if you can hear me. Let me know how things are sounding over there. Got a very exciting guest for today. I'm excited to get him on, but I am most excited to be here with you right now. So I got a poll going. If you check out in the chat, we got a poll going for the best summer drink. I want to hear what your answer is. I'm guessing I know what the answer is, because I'm drinking one right now. This is my latest video. If you haven't seen it, let's see if I can get it to focus. Mexican lager. So the dark Mexican lager with lime, where I actually infused lime straight in, and it turned out pretty freaking great. Super stoked with that turn out, and it still tastes good. A lot of people were concerned about, putting lime zest directly into the beer and how that would affect it, but it's been sitting for a little over a month and a half now, and it still tastes just as like citrusy and fresh. I guess I'll see once I'm kick the keg, I'll kind of dump everything out and look at it and see if there's any nasties on it or something weird. But for now, it's tasting great. So cheers to you guys. Thanks for being here. You could be watching a debate right now between two guys that I guess we have to pick one of them, but you're here with me, so cheers to you. Let's go over a couple things before we get going and get Brian in here. So, as mentioned, the Mexican lager video. I want to say a quick thank you to the few people that are the channel members, the few, the proud, the channel members. If you are looking for a great way to support the channel, I have now 3 tiers or channel memberships, and it's just a simple way to say thank you, support the channel, help me to do crazy videos, do insane challenges, or try something different. Helps me to not rely on the algorithm and the view count. So if you do support the channel, if you like the things that I create and you want to see more from me, that's a great way to do it. So thank you to these beautiful people. In fact, whoa, look at this one right here. Elementary Brewing Co. How about that? Yeah. Thanks, Brian. We'll have him on here in a sec. Let's check out the chat. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Let's see. Elementary is excited to be here. Nice. I know he is. I've already talked to him. He's excited. We got Northwest Small Batch Brewing. Someone said there'd be free beer. Sure. Yeah, here's a free digital beer, dude. Cheers. Just Homebrew. What's going on, man? Pride Pint. What's going on? I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Thanks for coming out. Lance, what's going on? Blackwood Brews. Of course, as we go along, if you have questions, be sure to drop them in the chat, and I will try and answer them, try and call them out. If I don't see them for some reason, you can always try and put it in big bold text, or you can always do super chat function, which is down below. Another way to support the channel, and it pops up on the screen nice and big, so I see your question. I'll leave the poll going for a little bit longer, just in case a few more people roll in here and get some more answers. But last thing I wanted to talk about is upcoming videos. So I have a couple videos in the works, and my next one I'm pretty excited about, and I'm kind of curious to see what people think. So you have to let me know, excuse me, if this is something you're interested in. But it's something I'm super passionate about. I recently got a 3D printer, which it's been like a whole new hobby to learn, a whole new thing to add to my hobby list beyond brewing and photography and gardening and whatnot. But been trying to print out a bunch of different things for the house, but also trying to come up with ideas for home brewing, solving little problems here and there. So if you have problems in your home brewery, super specific things, like for example, here's one right here. I got one right here. So I recently switched over to Duotite, which they're really great. I love Duotite. It makes everything super easy to disconnect and reconnect. But getting this little lid off is like impossible if you want to like clean it. So I found this print online where it's like a little tool for it, and it like perfectly snaps in like that. And then you can twist it off. Boom. Easy cleaning. So I've been loving finding little things like that. Organizing things, solving little issues around the brewery. So if you have ideas on things you want me to print or other things like that, let me know in the comments. But but yeah, I'm excited to get that video out. I'm curious to know if people even care about this or if it's something they're even interested in. But you know, I'm excited to make it. I'm getting into it. Oh, we already got some questions coming in. Nice. All right, cool. I'll be sure to save these questions. And yeah, all right. Enough rambling. Let's get our guest in here. This guy is probably one of the nicest guys that I have ever met in this whole brewing space. I got the pleasure to work with him twice, actually. Once was for a holiday video, if you haven't seen that. Comes in with this great entrance. But like, what does he say? He comes in with a great entrance. You got to watch it. And the other video is we did a Halloween. So for some reason we did Christmas and Halloween. I guess we got to pick another holiday to do together. But he brewed my favorite beer with a candy that I love, and I brewed a beer with the candy that he loved. His was Swedish Fish, and it was interesting. He liked it, but I was very unsure. But I had a great time partying with this guy. He is a part-time teacher, full-time teacher, but also a teacher of how to brew online. And his videos always make me feel like we're like just hanging out in the garage together. He's one of my favorite channels to watch. Let's introduce him here. This is Brian from Elementary Brewing Co. What's going
up?
on?
Melekaliki.
Yeah, I couldn't think of what it was. I always love it. I'll rewatch that video like every now and then. And you just come in like with so much energy, and I'm like,
that was fun. Yeah. I try. I don't know. I feel sort of like I don't have enough energy sometimes, but I don't know.
You do. I mean, like I said, I truly feel like we're like whenever I watch the your videos, I feel like we're hanging out. Like I'm just like one of the guys like in the garage with you, and I think that's something you do like very well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Brian.
Hey, thanks for having me on here. I'm glad to be here. So
yeah, of course.
I'm glad to be here. Glad to see. It looks like 20 people showed up. So that's awesome, man.
We're chilling. We're boycotting that debate.
For sure.
So Brian, for people that don't know who you are, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and like maybe how you got started brewing?
So Brian, how did I get started brewing? I went to Chico State. So which, if you know beer and craft beer, Chico is where Sierra Nevada originated. So I spent quite a lot of time there at the brewery. And there was a homebrew store across the street from my first apartment up there. And it was like late 90s, and my roommate and I went and we bought the stuff to make a beer, and we made the most terrible beer probably on the face of the earth because I don't even remember like sanitizing anything. I couldn't even drink a bottle of it after it was all done. My roommate did muscle down a couple of them, but they were terrible. So that was a long time ago. But I got reintroduced to the hobby after my first son was born. So he's now 15.
Wow.
So for my first Father's Day, my wife and my then 1-year-old bought me the Mr. Beer kit, and I made a couple batches of that, and then like the rest is just kind of history,
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Beer is exactly how I started.
Yeah.
Have you used it since? Like you've actually gained some skills?
I think I've thrown it away. Yeah. I mean, I don't even have that thing anywhere anymore. I don't even think you can buy those things online. I looked because I was like, you know what? Now that I'm like way into the hobby, like, hey, maybe I could make a Mr. Beer kit and actually make it taste good. I don't remember it being that bad.
Yeah.
But it tastes just kind of like a Coors Light or something like that.
Yeah, so, right.
Yeah.
I did that video with CH. We were able to find them and like try to make it good.
Where'd you find them at?
Probably just like Amazon.
Yeah, still selling them somewhere.
Yeah, but it was a fun like thing to like kind of like look back and be like, oh, this is where I started and this is where I am now.
And it's fun. It's a good intro to the hobby.
Yeah,
because home brewing can be super intimidating, but it can also be super not intimidating if you do it like the right way. If you get a Mr. Beer kit or something like that, it's not hard at all.
Yeah. And what made you want to start like a YouTube channel? Like, were you just like, do you have like video skills that you were using? You were like, I could do this?
Well, you were mentioning like your hobbies and stuff. I've always kind of been into photography, And I think like video or videography is like just the next logical next step, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then it was, you know, my boys are into a lot of things. And I remember like taking some video of one of my sons at the time, like he's really into cooking and doing some video. And it's like he wanted to post it on YouTube. So we put it on YouTube for just like family to see and stuff like that. And,
Mm.
you know, it was fun and it was a good time. And I'm always kind of trying to learn new things and learning YouTube and how to do videos and how to edit and all that stuff. I mean, it's still, I'm constantly like, I mean, that's pretty much all the YouTube I watch is like DaVinci Resolve videos. Like, how do I do this? You know, if I want to try to figure something out. So I don't know. It just seemed like a logical next step, you know, and it's been really fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like? Was there like channels that you watched that you were trying to like emulate when you started, or like anybody that inspired you?
I don't know. I mean, I would say my preferred form of entertainment is YouTube. I
Mm.
don't watch much TV. I do watch baseball games, but even now it's like I'm at the point where my attention span is kind of shorter. So I'll watch MLB's like recap. They've got a little 8-minute recap on all the
Oh yeah.
games. And so
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh, you know, I want to see how the Angels did. I'm just going to pop on there and watch the recap, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch the Angels right now, so they're not. And yeah, so I watch. I'll check the score first. This is true too. I'll check the score, and if they win, then I go watch the recap. If they
Yeah.
lose, I'm like, I don't even want to see
Yeah.
it.
I saw
Yeah,
a funny meme the other day. I think Casey sent it to me, and it was like, if as an NFL fan, you know, you lose one week, you're like, oh, we'll get them next week. But it's like, as a
yeah,
baseball fan, you lose one game, you're like, it's over, we're done for.
yeah. I know. There's so many games. Yeah, it's funny. It's a long season.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But so YouTube, I just kind of watch. Yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube. So I don't know. Like I try to keep, you know, I do the home brewing and that's a big passion, you know, but I do like some of the vlog style, you know, like Casey Neistat,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
those guys that do vlog style and they just kind of try to tell a story with it. So that's kind of where I envision myself trying to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I can
I have a
definitely
lot to
see
learn.
it.
So
I can definitely see that in your videos. Like you have this like flow too. Like you'll start like talking in one shot and then take it over to another shot, or like if it has a good flow to it, the way you like
yeah, yeah,
plan it
and
out.
that's part of the YouTube thing that I enjoy, or just the video, not even YouTube, just video making. Just like, you know, where am I going to go with this? Like, how do I tell a story? And I'm trying to make it interesting to as many people as I possibly can. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Um, what kind of things are you into brewing the most? Like, are you like a lager guy, ale guy? Do you kind of just split it
yeah,
up? Like,
I would say lagers are my absolute favorite
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
like trying? Is there anything that you're trying for? Like, or like, how do you plan out what are you gonna brew and film next?
You know, part of it's like, what do I want to drink? And part of it's like, what do I think people want to see
Mm-hmm.
too? You know,
Yeah,
I mean, as if I'm putting it on YouTube, it's, you know, I am thinking about like, what do I think people want to see, you know? And most of the time it's like reverts back to these hazy IPAs and stuff like that. But I
yeah.
don't always want to drink those. I do enjoy them, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, it seems like you
yeah.
have like family and stuff that you can like give beer out to or something, friends.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, so I've got to downsize, you know, because 5 gallons is just too much to go through. That's what my next video is going to be about, that just downsizing, because 5 gallons of beer is a lot to go through. I do have the canner and I do can them up, but it takes time, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
but it makes it easier to give away, and it does make it easier to brew more often. But I
Yeah,
think once I switch to 2.5 gallon batches, you know, I've got the Anvil foundry that'll do it. So
yeah, yeah.
I think I'm just going to go that route. That way I can brew more often, because I enjoy brewing beer. That's the best part. So
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I
yeah.
feel like that is like the perfect size too, because like you can like experiment, you can do like not take you can take risks that you wouldn't take on like 5 or 6 gallons of beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And
fun.
then if you've got, I mean, 5 gallons of beer is a lot of beer to go through, or bad beer. I mean, if you're experimenting and it just doesn't work out right.
Yeah. It seems like everybody agrees with you though. Lager got 67%
Oh
for the
yeah,
best summer.
yeah.
I agree.
It's a good summer drink. So I've got one right here, and this is going to be an on the air. It's either going to be an incredible disaster or a win. So I have this bottle of beer. It's one. I found one yesterday. There's two of them. So I'm pretty sure I know exactly what it is. It's
Just
this
like mystery beer in the back of your fridge.
it's like the mystery beer, but it's a Canadian lager. Or that's at least what I called it, because that's not a style. I used Sasquatch hops, so there was a little hiss there.
Okay.
It's a hoppy lager, you know?
Oh,
And
yeah,
let's see. So this is, I don't even know. This has got to be 6-7 months old.
Oh, all
sitting
right.
in the back of the fridge. Oh, there we go. It's not purple.
Nice.
It's
look
like
at that.
crystal clear.
That looks beautiful.
Yeah, so I picked up, I thought it would be a good video idea to do
Super clear.
the Sasquatch hops.
Yeah, what are those? I never used those. What are
They're
Sasquatch?
from Canada, so that's
Okay.
why I called it a Canadian pale
Yeah.
lager, you know? It's hoppy, but oh yeah. No, it's not going to be oxidized.
Nice.
Yeah, so there we go. That's a success for my my packaging.
Yeah. Cheers, man. Cheers.
Cheers, dude. Thanks for having me on
Yeah, of
again,
course.
man.
You'll have to let us know what Sasquatch hops taste like.
So they taste almost more like a noble hop to me.
Okay, yeah.
Not like really citrusy or anything like that. I think I've brewed a couple beers with them. I think I made a pale ale with them too. And it's one of those that I would probably throw in like a mid-boil edition.
Okay, yeah.
Not like super flavor and aroma. It's going to be a good, like, just gives you a little bit of bite to it.
Yeah.
There's not like a ton of like flavor or aroma that you're going to get from it. You probably want to pair it with other hops.
What kind of do you remember what yeast you used on that one?
I don't. I don't remember at all.
Yeah.
I'd have to go check.
Yeah. We do have a yeast question here from some guy. He's asking, he's got a question. He's struggling with a yeasty, struggling with a yeasty off flavor, seemingly no matter what the yeast choice. I have used Nottingham, 3470, and others people say to use. Any ideas?
Yeasty flavor. So I would want to know how he's packaging it. Do they say how he's packaging it?
I don't know. Let us know.
Is
how
he
you're
going
packaging.
straight to a keg, or
Yeah.
is he bottle conditioning it?
Right.
Because if you're bottle conditioning it, then you're going to have like a secondary fermentation in the bottle, and there's going to be that little layer of trub at the bottom. And yeah, I've totally had yeasty flavors from that.
Yeah. It could just be like, it could be that. It could be maybe incomplete fermentation, maybe. Like,
it's not fermenting out completely.
Yeah, could be a couple of things. But let us know, some guy, how you package it.
From fermenter to keg. So he's kegging it.
Okay.
Interesting. I wonder, cold crash. Are you cold crashing it before you transfer it to a keg?
Yeah.
I know, but if you're kegging it, you don't really need to cold crash it in your fermenter. You'll just throw it into a keg, and then the first couple pints are just going to be sludge.
Yeah.
And then after that, it should be pretty clear.
Yeah.
I wonder if using finings in your hot side finings would have anything to do with that. Or even cold side findings like gelatin. Would that drop any of that out?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a tough one.
There's a lot that it could be. It could be esters too. Yeah, it might not be. Bobby F said it could be esters. Maybe the fermentation is not controlled.
Yeah, could be. Not sure, but hopefully you can try some different things. The thing with like trying to solve an issue, I feel like, is you want to try all these different things, but you got to pick one aspect to like test. Whether it's the way you package it or fermentation temperature, things like that. You can't start changing all these variables, because then you're never going to find out like which one is causing the issue. So try a couple things, try one thing, and then brew it again and see if it fixes it. But yeah. Well, what do you have like a go? Do you brew like the same recipes over and over again, or are you always trying to brew something different?
Yeah, no, not really. I'm always brewing something different. I think I'm always making little changes. I mean, I'll go to. There's a couple that I would brew again, as is or very close to it. But for the most part, I'm kind of mixing it up. But I'll usually do like kind of a lager and then an ale, a lager and then an ale, lager and then an ale.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you
or in
brew
the summertime.
seasonally? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
seasonally. Like, I mean, I don't. Who wants to drink a Doppelbock right now?
Right.
It's 100 degrees up here, so I'm not going to brew one.
Do you have like of all the beers that you've brewed on your channel, is there one that like stands out? Maybe like you could tell me like which one was like your favorite if you can think of it, but like one that is like something you didn't expect. Maybe one of the beers that you made that you didn't expect to be. Is
the one that I sent you, that peanut butter golden stout.
Yeah.
Was honestly, like that was a really cool beer.
I really liked
I
it.
don't. Yeah, I know you sent me a little list of questions. One of them is like the strangest thing that you brewed with, and I'm like, I don't really brew with that much strange stuff. Like honestly, that was the first time I ever put peanut butter extract in a beer.
Yeah.
And so the powdered peanut butter PB2, and so that was like the strangest thing I can think of. But I don't do that very often with those adjuncts.
Right.
So having it turn out good was kind of eye opening. Like, hey, maybe I should start putting more stuff.
Yeah.
In my beers. I think people enjoy that. I think even if they're not a stout drinker, if they know that there's like powdered peanut butter and vanilla beans and things like that, they're at least going to try it and be open-minded to it.
Yeah. This was funny. I love this little skit that you did. I'm going to play this. This was funny. Hold on. Let's see if I can get the audio to play here.
Yeah.
Dude. Something dark, and they're like, it's so dark.
I have a stout on tap right now that's really good. You want one? Here you go. Stout.
Dude, it's so dark. Do you have anything lighter?
And I'm like, well, yeah, it's a stout. You wanted to try one of my beers, right? Or it's a Doppelbock, or it's this. And they're like, oh, I don't really like dark beers. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to like trick people. Well, here, try this one. This is a Belgian.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely lighter. Oh, bro, it tastes like cloves, dude.
Are you just like setting up the camera and then jumping to the other side and doing this?
No, actually, I wrote down like kind of what I was going to say, and I just filmed them in that order.
Oh, yeah.
And then I flipped the camera around because I had to change. I didn't want to change like every time. So I had to write out what I was going to say. That's that whole planning part,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm terrible at it, but I do make an attempt at that sometimes, man. Well, here, try this one.
Oh,
Yeah, someone had to hand it to you though.
Yeah,
that's
that
more
was
like
I
it,
had some
dude.
help.
You made this?
So I've got plenty of helpers that like to. My kids think it's hilarious that their dad does YouTube and has almost 10,000 subscribers. So.
Yeah, do they like brag to their friends and stuff? Like,
I don't know if it's bragging or if it's more poking fun at me. I don't know which one.
yeah.
It's funny though, but they do talk about it, and I see some of their friends pop up on comments, and I'm like, dude, come on, man.
That's hilarious.
Good thing we can delete comments without them knowing. Right?
Yeah, right. I wanted to look at like, you have one video here. I was under shorts actually.
Dude, yeah, this one was
that like
this
blew
one was
up.
Yeah, that one blew up, and I think it blew up. Like sometimes I get these ideas that just pop in my head, and I'm like, you know what, I should make a video, because what happened was I bottle conditioned a few beers, because I do that still from time to time just to see how it's going to be, and so I bottle conditioned this beer. And when you bottle condition, like we were saying before, it's like it leaves a layer of trub at the bottom. And you know, there are certain styles. I totally agree that you're supposed to swirl it, your Belgians and stuff like that, and you want that yeast flavor in there. But it was a Kentucky Common, and they're supposed to be pretty clean. I don't want it cloudy. I want it clear. So I was like, you know, if your buddy's giving you a homebrew and you know it's been bottle conditioned, like you might not want that layer of sludge at the bottom.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And man, dude, the reason it blew up is I got so much hate.
Really?
Oh gosh, dude. That short right there prompted me to go into YouTube, because in YouTube Studio you can put down like keywords that comments are gonna flag.
Yes, yeah.
And I had to fill that out.
Yep. Yeah, right.
I had to fill that out, you know, and whatever. At the end of the day, I don't really care. You can say whatever you want.
Right.
I've got pretty thick skin, and it's like it got 1.5 million views. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. So that video right there too, like for my shorts, like one of the things I try to do like on the long form videos is and you know how hard it is to keep up with comments.
Yes, yeah.
And to respond back. And I mean, you have way more subscribers than I do, so you're putting up with a lot more comments. So it's hard. It's hard, you know. You have to sit down and make time to do it. And that one, I was like, I just stopped reading on that at a certain point, and I'm like, there's no way I can respond. I think it has like 1,000, maybe 700 and something comments.
Wild.
I'm like,
that's crazy.
And most of them are just like, don't come to Germany, you know, like that's not what we do in Germany. Serious name calling. And I'm like, my kids subscribe to my channel and they watch. I don't want them seeing that stuff. You know?
Yeah.
That's the main reason. I don't care. I'm still going to go to Germany.
Yeah, right.
At some point.
Yeah.
And I'm going to drink good beer there.
Exactly. Yeah. Here,
there were a few people that, you know, chimed in and were like, no, you don't want that. If it's like a lager, you don't want that stuff in your beer.
Yeah, yeah.
You want it crystal clear.
Right, yeah. Here, let's check it out. I think it actually is a great video.
So your buddy gave you a bottle of his homebrew. Stop! Before cracking it open, do this. Put that beer in the fridge for a few hours to make sure it's nice and cold. Chances are it's been bottle conditioned, which means there's going to be a layer of yeast down at the bottom. Okay, now that the beer is cold, we can pour it. We want to be careful not to shake or...
These are all great tips so far.
And I don't normally pour my beers this gentle. I normally advocate for a rough pour.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
You'll see your bottles are actually made with this little...
And then I couldn't quite say the word hump. That's why I said lump. Everyone, they were making fun of me for that.
What?
It's funny when a short blows up, the audience that it's not your normal audience.
Yeah.
So people just, they get mean.
You can just taste the yeast. It'll taste a little bit bread. Now you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy it. Cheers.
It's so funny.
Anyway, yeah.
I mean, like that is like such a simple video, but people find those one things. I feel like a lot of the times, a lot of my videos, the most viewed videos, they have the most hate as well. But it's just because it's like reaching a new audience.
It's reaching a new audience. But at you know, the positive to that video is like I was waking up every morning to like 500 new subscribers.
Yeah, right.
And so that one kind of opened my eyes to the reach that shorts can have, and that's something that, you know, I want to focus on. Is I still want to provide some short content.
Yeah.
The bad part is the shorts audience is totally different from your long form audience.
Yes.
So I think, you know, you have a split audience then.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. Trying to
convert they talk them about that and like trying to get people to watch your long form, and then I don't know.
I totally get it. I feel the same way, because it's like, I could spend all this time pumping out shorts, but what I really want is people to watch long form.
Yeah.
Because that's where you're giving the most information. That's where all the hard work goes. Short probably took you like a couple hours to make, and
it doesn't. They don't take much time at all. I just made another short, and I just chopped up some of my long form content, and it doesn't take very long at all. 30 minutes, an hour. Yeah. I mean, but if you want to get views on it, there's probably got to be some planning that goes on and things like that. I think I got a little bit lucky on that 1.5 million.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever.
Yeah,
It's all,
it's a million views is a million views. I mean, that's awesome. Here's like your top 3. I mean, I feel like Kavaik.
The Kavaik Nipa. So that was like way back in the day. That was the first video that did real well for me, you know. That was back before I even had I used to have a Nikon D90 camera.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right. You know, and it would only take 5 minutes of video at a time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
So it was like, yeah. So some of that was probably shot on my phone as well too.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think honestly, the reason that one got so much love is just the thumbnail.
Yeah.
You know?
I think
it
you
was
probably,
a good beer.
You probably hit
and it had the word
trend.
Kavaik in it.
Yeah. You hit that like Kavaik hazy trend at the right time.
Yeah. Hit it at the right time. Yeah. And then the Mexican lager, that was kind of when I was starting to, you know, when I thought some of my video editing skills were getting better, you know? So,
yeah. Kavaik's making a return as well.
Yep. And then you got the Lutra there, right? And that was a split batch. I kind of feel like split batch experiments do pretty well for the most part.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, look at like Brewlosophy guys.
Yeah. I mean, anytime. And if you're brewing 10 gallons of beer, I mean, at least my split batches are like 10 gallons because it's 5 and 5.
Right.
It was at least, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, they're a lot of work, but it's a lot of beer. They, you know, they get views. Yeah.
Yeah. And I forget, remind me what happens in this third one. I didn't clean my fermenter.
Yeah. So I made a double IPA with that incognito, but I just racked it. I made a beer, basically I made a big starter. So I made a 5-gallon batch of like a lighter beer to like build up my yeast cake because I was doing a double IPA, and I just racked straight on top of that. So the fermenter was dirty.
And it turned out all right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've done that a few times. Yeah.
Nice.
I've done that a few times. I think it's a good way to, if you plan out your brews, you know, to brew like a smaller, more sessionable beer and just build up the yeast cake. If you're going to use that same yeast, just rack a beer straight on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a perfectly acceptable strategy.
Yeah. Is there a video that you've done that like didn't get as much shine, but you feel super proud of?
Oh, it's a good question. I was, you know, looking because the YouTube thumbnails. So sometimes I'll go back through some of my old videos and like try to change the thumbnails.
Yeah. Yeah.
But some of them like I built my brother-in-law a kegerator.
Oh yeah.
That video only got a couple thousand views, and I, you know, thought it was a fun video.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like I have a lot of those where it's like things that I'm super passionate about or I have super fun making the video. May not do the best, but at the end of the day, like we're doing this channel and it's like, I love making videos for people, but I'm making the channel for myself to like push myself, try something different. And
yeah. And that's at the end of the day, like I'm not quitting my day job to become a YouTuber.
Right. Yeah.
That, you know, so I'm trying to make things that are fun for me, but I do try to keep the audience in mind too. And I'm trying to make something that's enjoyable for them as well. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Jeremy Lincoln says the cider video, which is your latest video, was so good.
Yes. So CH had the Hoppy Hour last night too, and he's like saying it was like my best video. I think what it means is what they mean is I've got other people in there. And so sometimes if it's just like a one-man show and it's just me, it's not quite as entertaining. It's hard to get other people to come on to your videos sometimes too.
Yeah.
You know, how you're going to work it out and everything like that. But I appreciate that. I mean, I thought the video, it was a good one. It was a long one in the making because it was really like 2 ciders, really. So.
Yeah. What made you want to do 2 as opposed to just 1?
Well, so the guys that I brewed with, they have their own little brewing. He's got a 3-tier system, like one of the last people that I know that still has a 3-tier system. And he does all these like, you know, the adjunct stouts and the ciders, and he really loves ciders. And I honestly I've never been a cider guy. I'll buy some of these ciders from the store and I'll drink it, and they just, I don't know. They just don't do it. And so I start talking to him, and I have one of his ciders, and I'm like, dude, this is nothing like the ciders that I'm buying at the store. And so I'm like, let's do this. And so More Beer, actually, they hooked us up with all the buckets for that video, and the those Boiron fruit purees, which I can never say one time on camera without messing it up. Fruit puree.
Yeah.
Fruit puree. They're so easy. And that tropical cider it was pineapple and passion fruit. So I used 1 jug of pineapple, 1 jug of passion fruit for each batch. We did a three 5-gallon batches. So we did 15 gallons. But that stuff is awesome. And so that kind of opened my eyes to like, man, this cider thing is like, these can be good. These can be good. These can be very drinkable. And then I made another one. I made a triple berry with the fruit from Costco.
Yeah.
Super fun. So I've got an idea for some other cider / beers / like just the weird stuff, but I'm trying to make, I don't know, like, I prefer my ciders a little sweeter.
Yeah.
So almost like a dessert type thing. Yeah. But that's sort of like the feedback that I get from those, like that tropical cider, like everybody's like, this is so good.
Yeah.
It's just like my brother-in-law, one of my other brother-in-laws, he's like, dude, you need to sell this. I'm like, oh, I can't,
right.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
But thank you. Yeah. So I'm really curious to go down like the other fermentations, so I still love beer. I've got a Czech pale lager planned for tomorrow.
Nice.
But I'm going to go down the cider, and I'd really like to try mead too.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
I've never even had a mead. So.
Oh, really?
No, never had one, but I'd like to ferment one.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And then there's like braggot, which is like a mix of beer and mead.
Beer. Yeah. And that's my next idea is for a graph, so beer cider.
Yep.
And I know you've made one before too. I think you did that with Apartment Brewer, right?
Yeah, I've done a couple of them. Yeah, I did one with him. We spun like the wheel of all the BJCP styles and randomly selected a beer style to go with the cider.
Yeah, so
which I don't recommend. Unless you get a good style. Yeah,
the graph, I think because this buddy that I brewed the cider with, he makes this one called Apple Pider.
Oh, cool.
And so it's 1 gallon of beer to get that like crusty flavor for an apple pie, and then 4 gallons of cider.
Nice.
Which they do apple.
Yeah.
But with like some cinnamon and some vanilla. And so he's trying to make an apple pie. So I want to take that and I want to do a peach pie.
Oh yeah, that'd be
so
good.
I would like to do, so I'll go with about 1 gallon of beer, and try to get that crust flavor.
Right.
And then 4 gallons of peach cider. So I've got all the Boiron already. I've got the peach puree ready to go, but I'm going to go like vanilla.
Yep.
I won't add lactose to it, but I'll probably do some maltodextrin.
Yeah, for a little body.
For the body and that sweetness, vanilla, cinnamon, and just try to make like a peach pie.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say I did a peach seltzer one time, and I used all those.
Peach is a good flavor.
Yeah, it's good. And like adding those like warming spices definitely gives it that like kind of pie.
Yeah. And it's hard to get it right. You gotta do it. You got to get it just right. So I've got the peach puree. I'm going to do just a plain peach cider first.
Nice.
Just to try to nail my measurements, and we'll do the vanilla and the cinnamon in there. And then I'll work on 1 gallon of as crusty as pie crusty a beer as I possibly can. So some biscuit malt.
Right. Lots of biscuit malt.
Golden Promise. Yeah. Just get the crust flavors going.
That sounds really good.
And then put it together and see what happens.
Yeah. Nice.
The thing with ciders that I've been curious on too is, they've got dedicated cider yeast, but I think that's the yeast that I like the least in cider.
Yeah.
For my triple berry, I use juice from Imperial yeast.
Yeah.
Like I hate IPA yeast.
Yeah.
And then the tropical cider, the one I liked the best was White Labs. They have a Tropical, which is like a hazy IPA yeast, and they just add such a good like mouthfeel and I don't know.
Yeah, they don't ferment as much of those like sugars as like like cider yeast or wine yeast. They'll ferment it all the way down to like 1.0, and it's like that's super dry and becomes very tart. But if you pick like a nice ale yeast, you'll get like some residual sweetness.
Yeah, and then I've been back sweetening too, so it comes up. It's even sweeter. So
yeah, what do you use to back sweeten with?
I've been just using with the triple berry. I used blueberry pomegranate apple juice concentrate.
Nice, yeah.
And then for the tropicals, we just use regular apple juice concentrate.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah,
because I feel like when you ferment apple juice, it kind of like you lose a bit of that appleness. So it helps.
Yeah, and that's what I want. I want that appleness. Yeah. I want that, and I feel like adding like some vanilla and some adjuncts is gonna pump up, like even add a little bit more of that sweetness to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah. You should try after that. You should try a hopped cider. That was one of my favorite.
And I've done one in the past too. I need to go revisit your videos.
Yeah.
And look it up. Yeah, like a Citra hop cider.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. They're really good.
It's probably really refreshing.
It also adds like that like extra layer of mouthfeel. I don't know what it does. It's doing something that just makes it more like full and more enjoyable. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
What about like other fermentations? Anything beyond cider that you like? Do you do seltzers ever? Or
I've done. I think I did one seltzer. Came out terrible. It's the yeast nutrient you got to worry about, right? Mm-hmm. I was trying to do it in a hurry. It just didn't work. I've been into fermentation, like I've done my own sauerkraut, pickles, kombucha. Sure. Nice. I mean, I still have a SCOBY that's sitting up in the cupboard somewhere.
Yeah.
I still have mango that I have to scrape off my ceiling every once in a while from overcarved bottles, Yeah. So the wife likes kombucha, and so we did that for a little while.
Nice.
I ordered some of that water kefir.
Oh, right? Yeah.
I ordered that based off that video that you did and tried that out.
Yeah. Lance commented and said, I'm really enjoying the kefir since TheBruSho's recipes. I have not been keeping up with mine. I need to bring it back to life probably.
But. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, that stuff's a living organism, And so, and my wife, like, she makes sourdough. Mm-hmm. We just cranked out some. So nice. She keeps that sourdough starter going, which by the way, video that you did on the water kefir, they have a sourdough starter too. And her sourdough starter was not performing. So we ordered it from that place and it's fantastic.
Nice.
That's what she has going right now, but it's been,
when
that video came out, that's been a while.
Yeah.
6 months, a year. So she's had that starter with that one. And it's like, man, phenomenal starter.
Nice. I actually bought that as well. And then I killed it. I promptly killed it like a few weeks later. So I'm on my third round of sourdough right now. But we got a super chat here from Cityscape Brewing. Two awesome brewers. Love the content. Cheers, man. Thank you. Cheers to you, man.
His t-shirt. I have one of his t-shirts too. That one's holding up pretty well too. So
actually, the other one. Dennis is going to be coming on.
Nice.
So Cityscape's coming on in August to come hang out with me on a live Q&A. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, him and I chatted at one point about trying to do a collab or something, but it's hard. Collabs are hard to pull off.
Collabs are a lot of work. Yeah,
it's a lot of work. It's hard to.
I was thinking about I was talking about how you came in with the Malay. What is it, Malay?
Maleki Liki Maka.
Yes,
Maleki Liki Maka.
That video. So I had 11 other YouTubers in it, and the hardest part was like getting everybody to just send me their footage. I think you were one of like the earliest people to do it, but like I was like days before the post, I'm like, hey, can I get some footage for this?
Yeah. I tried, and I feel bad because I was supposed to do a collab with Apartment Brewer, which if he watches this, I will get you your beers, Steve. I will get you your beers. He sent me beers. We were doing a non-alcoholic beer, and I don't know. You've brewed non-alcoholic beers?
I've done one, right? But I want to do more of it. Yeah.
I am afraid of those.
Yeah.
Dude, that fermentation was like, fermentation's already like a weird looking thing. And the non-alcoholic one is just, it was scary looking, man. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, there's no way I'm sending this to Steve. And then like after watching his video, I'm like, oh, I should probably check my pH.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to kill anybody, man.
Yeah, he's doing all like the
Yeah, he's all scientific, and I'm just
Right.
like short and shoddy. Like, let's see if I can do this in 2 hours. You know? No
Yeah.
research.
I know it is like kind of intimidating because you can really like make something that
You can make something that makes somebody sick.
Yeah, for sure.
I am not into that. That's like not my and then it doesn't even taste that good, I don't think.
Yeah.
I have not had a non-alcoholic beer yet that is the same as a I've had ones that are decent, but there's nothing that's the same as an actual beer.
Have you had like the athletic ones? That's one people.
Yeah,
people love those.
I bought a 6-pack like 6 months ago in preparation for the non-alcoholic brew day.
Yeah,
and it was, it's
yeah,
you know, I'd rather drink like a hop water, or
yeah, for sure.
It's just, I mean, if I don't want the alcohol, I'll just drink sparkling water.
Yeah. My father-in-law doesn't drink, so every time he comes into town, we'll go to like the Bevmo, which is like the big liquor store, and we'll just get like all the different varieties of non-alcoholic beers and try them all out. And like, I think Athletic is probably doing the best. There's another one in California. They do like a Kolsch that's pretty good. I can't remember what it's called. It's like all day Kolsch or something. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
But
I'm sure there are good examples out there. I mean,
best day Kolsch. I'll drop it in the chat. This one's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I agree. It's not the same. The beer that I did was actually a collab with Hops and Gnarly. We did a non-alcoholic collab, and I sent him a beer, he sent me a beer, and then we tried to replicate it. But he actually like threw me like a really, nice soft pitch, which was a non-alcoholic fruited sour. So it all the flavor is just basically fruit and the sourness. It's not like the beer flavor, and it turned out amazing. I loved it. It was just like drinking like carbonated juice. But it being sour, that helped with the pH and all the issues with the pH. So
and that's the other experiment I want to do. I want to try to make a cider, but make it with sour yeast, like sour VCA or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've ever done that. I've never done it, but that would be interesting.
It's on my list to like try, but I've never done it as well. Yeah, that'd be good. What do you got here? Is this a new beer?
This is the tropical cider. No, it looks like a beer, huh?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's the tropical cider.
Nice.
So, yeah. I don't know if that's backwards or not.
No, it's good. You're good. Zach Pearson says that Sam Adams Hazy NA is good. I could see how like
pretty good
hazy or like IPAs could probably be better because they are hiding more of the lack of beer.
And I think some of those bigger companies too, there's other processes that that make it, they just like pull the alcohol out somehow so they actually make beer, but then
I don't know. That's true.
I'm not well versed on all that.
All right, we got a question here from the Goat Bird Man. Hi guys, I'm doing a Schwartz beer tomorrow with Carafa 3, but I do not want any astringency or roasty flavors. Should I put the Carafa 3 in only at mash out? What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. You can add it as a color addition, like the last 5 minutes of your mash, and then you don't pull any of the astringency out. I know they make Carafa Special, which is the dehusked version, which doesn't add all that stuff. It just adds mostly color. But if you don't have that, and it's like, I'm doing it tomorrow, like, just throw it in for the last, 5 minutes of your mash.
Yeah, I was gonna say like they have a dehusked version, I think, of Carafa 3, if I'm not mistaken. That's usually what I like to go for, especially for like Schwartz beers or like dark lagers. The dehusked.
Yeah, because you don't want you want the darkness, but you don't want a ton of that roastiness. Yeah. So just throw it in at the last, at mash out. That's a great, or maybe the last 5 minutes of your mash,
Yeah, for sure. I've even done it where you like make a separate tea out of it. You just cold mash.
Your last video, you added that Cinnamar too.
Yeah.
Right.
I hate that I've had to use it now in 2 videos, but it works. It works. And I think
and you're you added it for your Negro Modelo, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you added it for that. I don't think Negro Modelo has to be super dark. You showed the color on there, and it was just kind of like an amber.
Yeah, and it was pretty hazy at that point too, so it might have.
Yeah, that works.
But I realized I think I got those little syringes of Cinnamar from like Northern Brewer or More Beer, one of them, but they don't sell them anymore.
Yeah.
I was trying to
really?
find like a link to like give people, but they don't sell them. So you got to get the big jug of it that's like this big, and that you'll never use the whole thing. But
no way. Yeah. Unless you want to turn your light lagers into dark lagers and just trick everybody, tricks and treats. That was the name of the beer that I sent him.
Yes.
Tricks and treats.
That was really cool. It was like a golden,
fun. And I
golden stout, right? Like was what it was.
It was a golden stout. That was a style that I had wasn't even on my radar, but yeah, it came out good.
I want to make that because that was like, it's like a fun like party trick too. It's like, try this.
Yeah, like here's beer that doesn't look like a stout, but it's gonna taste like one.
Right. Like that guy in your video, like,
oh, dude, come on, bro. It's something lighter. That's like my brother-in-law that I built the kegerator for. He's like a Coors Light guy, so it's like I have anything that has any color to it, and he's like, no, I don't even want to try it.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right, dude.
Have you ever like brewed like an American light lager or anything like that?
Not an American light lager, but I've done lots of pilsners. Which, in my opinion, are better than a light lager.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more flavor, but
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, short of the adjunct. So
I did like a Bud Light clone-esque.
Remember the one in the football?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But half of the comments are always like, "Why? Why would you do this?" The other half of the comments are like, "Now do X beer. Do like Miller Lite next."
Now do Miller Lite.
I'm like, well, it's kind of the same thing. Just
I don't know. There's a difference because out of all the light beers, I don't know which one's your favorite. This should be your next poll.
Okay, yeah.
Coors Light, Bud Light, Miller Lite.
All right, let's start a poll.
I know which one, hands down, I go for every single time.
So Miller
Light, Bud Light, Coors Light.
Coors. What is the?
Because I do still buy beer at the store, and I only buy. I will not.
I'm trying to think like what my answer for that is, because I feel like I'll drink like pretty much whatever. You put something in front of me, I'll try it or I'll drink it. I feel like I'd probably go with Coors. I feel like at least that's what I used to drink a lot of.
Yeah, I go Miller Lite all day.
Yeah.
I feel like Miller Lite's the only one that has decent flavor. I don't know. Coors Light tastes appley to me.
Okay. Yeah.
Or not appley. Sorry, no. Coors Light doesn't taste appley to me. Coors Light tastes just watery. Like especially when it gets warm, it's like ugh.
Right.
Bud Light is the one that tastes appley to me.
Yeah.
And I can't handle it. But Miller, I don't pick up anything up in it.
Corn syrup flavor.
I don't pick any of that up. Yeah. Do you know the light beer that's also really good too? That I haven't had for a while, but is Amstel Light.
Oh, okay. I haven't had that in a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had it for forever.
I feel like the reason I went Coors is like I would just, it has like the Blue Mountains on it. It's like you just get it as cold as you can. Cold as you can. It doesn't taste like anything.
Coors Light, whatever. And I'm not going to turn it down. If somebody gives me a Coors Light, I'm going to drink it.
Yeah. Let's see. People are. It seems like Miller Lite is the winner here. Miller.
There we go.
Bush. Oh, we forgot Bush Light.
Oh, Bush Light.
Yeah.
And see, when I went to when I was in college, we had the brewery there, Sierra Nevada. So every once in a while, when we were, when somebody had enough money to pony up for like a keg of pale ale, that was like a treat, But we were Keystone Light, man. That's
yeah.
It was like $2.99 for a 12 pack of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a starving student.
Right. So, yeah, you got to get what you can get.
$3 for 12 beers. I'm like, I'm good to go.
Yeah. When I go back to Chicago, I always get Old Styles, like they're like local Chicago light beer. And then, like at the Cubs game, like just get big Old Style. It basically tastes like all those, but it's Chicago-fied.
Yeah. And like, like Modelo Especial. I've grown quite fond of that. Negro Modelo. I mean, Negro Modelo is like a Vienna lager or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got a little bit more flavor in it. But those are good beers, dude.
It's crazy. I don't know if it's like this by you, but like every brewery seems to have like a Mexican lager on tap now.
Yep. And I was stoked that the beer that I made was kind of like a hoppy lager. So it wasn't a Mexican light lager, but there was this local brewery that made a Mexican lager, and I was excited about the 4-pack. Cracked one open last week, and I was like, this is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could make way better of a beer than that.
Just move over. Let me in there.
Like, dang it. I'm just going to stop buying this beer, man.
Yeah.
There are beer. I don't know. What about you? You still buy beers at the store?
I do. Yeah. I feel like I'm pretty fortunate. I'm like in the middle of like so many craft breweries. It's for a while it was like the what are they? The IPLs or the hoppy lagers? What are they called? Cold IPAs were like super popular
IPAs.
Here. And I tried all those. I never really got like into that trend very much.
Yeah.
But right now I'm just like on like if I see a Pilsner lager, something like that,
those
I'm going for
go-tos.
That. Yeah.
Okay, so but that cold IPA.
Yeah.
So that was one of the most surprising beers that I have ever made. So I got the kit from More Beer.
Uh-huh.
It's their Hopnosis kit.
Mm-hmm.
So you're supposed to do a cold IPA, and that was the beer that I made with the White Labs had the Claw Hammer, Mythical Hammer.
Yes, yeah.
They had their Mythical Hammer yeast.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Right? So that was the beer that I made with that, and that was hands down the best IPA. I mean, I know it was a cold IPA, but that was hands down the best IPA that I had ever made, maybe even ever had. I was like, dude, this is like life-changing. So that's the beer. Like, I will do that beer again. Like, just buy the recipe.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you remember
what
were the yeast in it?
The yeast
what
was
was
the mythical.
The hops, sorry.
Oh, that was the other thing is there were so many hops in that one. It was 11 little packs of hops.
Holy shit.
And yeah, I've never put that many hops in a beer. And I was like, dude, this is going to be overkill.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think, what was it? The Brewlosophy show did that episode. Was that yesterday or the day before with the Cascade?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And he sent the beers in. And so it's Brewfather's registering. It's going to be 40 IBUs and they're like 21. So that cold IPA that I did with those 11 packs of hops kind of opened my eyes to the fact that if I want an IPA with hops, I need to like double the hops that I'm putting in.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to like six ounces to me was going to be a lot. It was 11 ounces in this beer.
Yeah.
Because they were all 1 ounce packs.
Interesting.
I'm like, dude. But it was the best IPA that I've ever made.
Oh, interesting. Wow. Okay.
It was super good. So
I do love that.
That'd be a good video. Just like how many hops are too many.
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm going to put 20 ounces in a 5-gallon batch. Is this going to be too much? Brewfather says it's 200 IBU.
Right. Yeah. When I did I did like a Pliny the Younger clone, and it was like I was pushing the IBUs above 120, I think it was.
Yeah.
But like they say you can't really taste above 100, but
yeah,
I don't know. Just keep throwing it at it and see what happens. Just keep adding more.
See what happens.
Actually, I really like that Mythical Hammer yeast. I completely have forgotten about it. I feel like I
did like that too. I need to get back on White Labs and see if they have it in stock and if they're going to continue to make it. That was a really good yeast.
Yeah, it was.
Because it was a pressure fermented lager yeast, but it was like that I made that IPA with it, and it did not taste like a lager at all.
Yeah.
I gave it to a bunch of people, and they're like, "Dude, this is so good! Like, this is just like IPA." I said, "It's a double IPA. It's just an IPA, man."
Yeah.
And they had no clue, you know. It was good.
Speaking of Claw Hammer, I think I saw recently, or saw on one of your videos, you have like their pressure fermenter keg thing.
I do have that keg mentor.
Yeah. How's that going up? How's that working for you?
So they sent me a prototype.
Okay.
Which they've made some adjustments to, and they did send me the lid. I have not used it since I've got the new lid.
Mm-hmm.
I think like one of the issues they were having was the thermo well, like it was leaking air. Like I could not keep pressure in that thing, and I had that thing cranked on there so hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with the new lid, that's one of the things they were having issues with, was that. So I'm going to give it a go again.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I like how he like looked at like the issues and like saw the improvements.
It took them. Yeah, they're trying to make a good product. You know, then their stuff is good. I appreciate them for that. I mean, my claw hammer system is, you know, I'm so glad I went to an electric system.
Yeah. Especially I feel like for us when we're like filming, it adds like one less level of stress on the brew day.
It's just so much quicker and easier to put together, and just getting a brew day going is like a breeze.
Yeah.
Propane was like, dude, I got to get my burner out. I got to get this out. And then I was doing like a 2 vessel because I was trying to recirculate on the propane burner. It's like, man.
Yeah.
The only thing
Go ahead.
I wish their kettle had was a Whirlpool port, like a dedicated Whirlpool port. I know they have the Whirlpool arm now, but I have a kettle that has a Whirlpool port, and it's just like the Whirlpool I get on that thing is like light years better than any arm is doing.
That would be really cool. I'm sure you could take it to like a local metal shop. You reminded me of something. I can't remember now. But yeah, I don't know. What do you got working on? What's coming down the pipeline for you? Any exciting videos?
So just like scaling down, that's the next video. Will be, you know, I think I'm just gonna have to go to 2.5 gallon batches. Just if I want to continue to create content around beer, you know, and alcohol, I cannot go through that 5 gallons, you know. And I was brewing, there was a while there where I was literally brewing every other weekend to get videos going out and making 5 gallons every time. And it's like, oh my, I mean, there was a lot of beer dumped.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I dumped a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because for me, honestly, and that's, I'm glad I have the canner. For me, like I'll just keep 2 beers out of a 5 gallon batch. I'll keep a couple of them. I'll keep like one for the tasting, and then I'll keep one to save just for another time. Unless it's like, if it's really good, then I'm keeping more. But then the rest of it, I just go drop it off at friends' houses.
That's awesome.
Here's beer. Here's beer. I mean, whatever. I mean, they're happy. Yeah. You know, I'm happy because I get rid of it, you know, and
exactly.
I'm not going to sit and drink 5 gallons of beer by myself. So.
Right. Yeah. I've definitely slowed down as well as far as the amount and like the amount of times I'm brewing as well. But I you know, getting a canner, that'd be like a good way to like kind of like, because I don't want to like bottle. I feel like that is just like a whole nother level. But canning seems like,
when you really think about it, like bottling from a keg is the same thing as canning.
Okay.
It's really not going to take any less time to can. Canning is kind of cool, you know, and you've got cans, and I think they hold up better than bottles. But it really doesn't take any less time to can it. I think they're easier to store.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, like, where do you put all the cans? The empty cans?
I've got lots of fridges. Oh, the empty cans? They just stay in the box in my garage.
Yeah.
You know? But I don't know. I mean, I think because I get the packs, the cannular pack is, I want to say it's 200 cans.
Okay.
And they had a sale on them. I want to say it was like 20% off, but I got it for like $90.
Okay.
For 200 cans. How much would 200 bottles be?
I'm not sure. Could look it up.
Yeah. I want to say it would probably be weight wise and everything. Like if you're going to get that shipped to you, it'd probably end up being more.
Yeah. I mean, let's see, 4 cases of 12 ounce. Let's see, 96 bottles is $75.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm getting 200 cans. I got 200 cans for like 90 something.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good deal.
And it looks cool. Like when you have a can.
Yeah, it's way cooler. And then you like the labels, and I mean,
Yeah.
I'm working on getting labels, like just a roll of them, so it's something generic that I can put on everything and just handwrite what it is on there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, sweet. Well, man, we're coming down to the line here. Anything else that you want to? Well, first of all, chat. If you have any last minute questions here, go ahead and get them in. But anything else that you want to promote, talk about?
No, just thanks for watching.
Yeah.
The people that are here on the live chats, these are the true fans, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching.
For sure.
This YouTube thing has gotten a lot bigger than I ever imagined it would. So
yeah, and you're closing in
only thanks to you guys.
You're closing in on 10K too. About 500.
Yeah, that's
away. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, about 500 away. Yeah, I don't know. I try not to get too caught up in the numbers. So
yeah. Well, it's all those like million subscribers or million views. People come to hate on you.
Yeah, they're coming. Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. Goose Fraba says the first video I saw from Elementary Brewing Co. was the kombucha video. Are you still making some?
Yeah, no, I am not still making some. I do have the SCOBY, right?
Yeah.
SCOBY, yeah. I do have the SCOBY up in the cupboard, but it has not seen the light of day for many, many moons. Yeah, that was the first video. I still have that video up. That was back when it was like I was making the cooking videos with my son. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make a video on how to make kombucha. Let's do this. And I created the channel and put a kombucha video on there. I should probably take it down.
What?
It's terrible. I don't know.
Now I want to watch it. I'm going to go find this after it.
It's the very first video. It's like those first videos are like, I keep them up there just for entertainment sometimes because it's fun to go watch the cringe.
Yeah, right. Self-entertain yourself.
I always listen to like CH, like he used to say, like when he first started the channel, like he would have to be hammered to like watch his own videos.
Yeah.
That's funny. I'm like, I go back and I just, whatever. I'm used to making an ass out of myself. So
I kind of get what he's saying. Like I don't really like watching my own videos, but like I found myself yesterday, like going back and watching a couple of them. And I was like, it's actually like this one turned out pretty good.
Yeah. And the thing that I think about too is like as a father, like it's cool that there's something out there living of me that will be around for a while that like maybe my kids could watch.
Yeah. Right.
And they'll be like, hey, that's my dad.
That's true. Yeah. So, leaving a legacy.
Yeah. Something like that, I guess. I don't know.
Well, Brian, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with me for the last hour. That was fun, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah. We'll have to do a collab together again sometime soon.
We will get another one going.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Thank you, man. And thanks, chat, for stopping by and dropping questions. And if you haven't, go ahead. Make sure you're subscribed to Brian. And until next time, cheers. Cheers to you, Brian. Happy brewing.
Cheers.
And I'll see you guys when I see you.